gonna clip it back in since you asked. I'm gonna put it right back into this. It was about him linking y'all with some girls or something. Y'all was young, and he broke it. He either went in y'all's room. I think it might have been, it was y'all's room. He didn't know it was y'all's room.
Okay.
They had found, one of his partners found the key or something, but I'm gonna bring it back in. I can't remember exact time. It was like 2 years ago.
I'm just going hard. So they got these different freestyles. I met Pac. I hooked Pac up with 2 hoes that night. Ooh. Money B, we had some little freaks with us from Third Ward, and Money B was like, who are them chicks? So I'm like, they just some homegirls. So the next morning, he gave me $200. I said, what this for? He say, they came and spent the night with me and Pac. You feel what I'm saying? So I met all these people, kicked it with Pac.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.
I got to ask you about the South, when it comes to the South. I heard you ESG shout out to ESG. He told a story about you on the show. Oh, but shit. But it wasn't, man. It was like they went in by some girls, and I got it. I'm gonna clip it back in since you asked. I'm gonna put it right back into this. It was about him linking y'all with some girls or something. Y'all was young, and he broke it. He either went in y'all's room. I think it might have been, it was y'all's room. He didn't know it was y'all's room. Okay. They had found, one of his partners found the key or something, but I'm gonna bring it back in. I can't remember exact time. It was like 2 years ago.
I'm just going hard. So they got these different freestyles. I met Pac. I hooked Pac up with 2 hoes that night. Ooh. Money B, we had some little freaks with us from Third Ward, and Money B was like, who are them chicks? So I'm like, they just some homegirls. So the next morning, he gave me $200. I said, what this for? He say, they came and spent the night with me and Pac. You feel what I'm saying? So I met all the people, kicked it with Pac.
But when it comes to the South, what did you? Online? Of course. Okay, when it comes to the South, what did you think about the music and the way that thing was happening down there?
Well, you got to know in the South, right? So Bay Area and even in LA, that community all migrated from the South.
Okay.
They come from Louisiana, they come from Texas. Like in Oakland, everybody's roots is in the South.
Wow.
Same thing in LA. And we can go back to when, I don't know a year, when they built the ports in Oakland and in Long Beach, and people, military, they come and then they stay and just, better life.
Yeah.
Like that's where it comes. All of our roots there mostly is from the South. And if it's not the South, it's probably like Chicago.
Correct. Midwest.
Midwest, right? So we are where I grew up in the Bay Area, we are the cousins of the South.
Of the South.
So it wasn't different, really. Obviously the accents are different, but most of the music from the South, they got it from Too Short.
Yeah,
right? And
I told you. I remember that.
The bass lines, and it was our, and respectfully, right? But it's our music with Southern slang over it. It wasn't different.
Yeah.
So there wasn't this culture shock when we down there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like, it's almost like it's like this. That's like you said. That's why UGK and Schultz was that tight.
UGK, Schultz.
And E40 went to Grambling because his family's out there.
Yeah, he in Dallas.
Everybody got something down there. Like even with Raw Fusion, our biggest market was Houston.
Yep.
Right? And when we would go down there, it was just always love. So it's not like coming from the East Coast.
Correct. I was gonna go back that
culture shock.
Correct.
Which, that's where my family's from.
Oh, really?
Right. Yeah, I'm from Philadelphia originally. That's where I was born.
I didn't even know that.
That's where my family's from.
I was so thinking you straight Oakland for sure.
Nah, I was raised in Oakland since I was like 3 or 4.
See, that's why.
Yeah, so you left Philadelphia at a young age.
At a very young age, but I would go back.
Okay.
I still know
the culture.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so I know the difference. So I know how when I would go and spend summers on the East Coast back in Philly or New Jersey, they would trip off of me. Why you talk like that? Why you dress like that? Why you
I think a lot of kids go through that.
It wasn't none of that when you go down south.
Correct.
For us, because we're cousins in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, you listen to the music. Like, shit, I did a song with what the fuck is Pussy, weed, and alcohol.
Oh, Fifth Ward Boy.
I did a song with
Fifth Ward Boy.
Yeah, I go down there and they pick me up and
they
go
show love,
hang out and be in the back of the little record shop.
Yeah.
All that shit. And Devin, the dude, was my guy. And,
shout out to Devin.
Yeah, man, it's just like.
What did you think when the East and West Coast beef was going on and were you going back and forth to Philadelphia then?
When that was going on, I'm not sure if I visited, but that's why I knew it was fabricated, because me being from the East Coast originally, how's the magazine gonna let me all of a sudden start hating my cousin and people I know?
Come on now.
And the friends that I had and still have in the industry, none of our opinions changed about each other. Cool. It was fabricated, and it was, these magazines, the names, they fanned it. Yeah. And who it hurt the most were the people outside that bought into it. Yeah. And made it into a thing that didn't really exist.
A lot of people lost their life behind that.
Exactly. Like, it wasn't a thing. What it was a beef between two people and two groups of people, two labels. Yeah. That's what it was. Everything else was just fabricated, and some people who needed, some people need something to grab onto, something to latch onto. 100%. But it wasn't real, right? I never had animosity, not only towards my family, but anybody from anywhere, because of where they lived solely. Wow. And nobody that I knew did either.
It's crazy how that whole thing transpired, and still to this day with Keefy D and all that stuff happening like it is, all this stuff is crazy to be seeing just the dynamic of how things are still trickulating and still. Yeah, well, what is this?
The thing about it is, how they always say what you do in the dark
come to the light.
Yeah, it always comes to the light, but then sometimes it's like, why does it take so long? But eventually it is. And kind of like what we were talking about with Snoop or Puffy or anybody. Bro, whatever you do, there's repercussions and consequences for whatever. Now, whatever that is, and sometimes you might not have a choice, right? So, for instance, we doing this interview, y'all go eat somewhere, somebody disrespect your wife and you put hands on them or you do something worse, and then something happens behind that. I'm not going to change my opinion about you because you was just sitting here doing that. I'm going to let it play out, and even after it plays out, I'm like, well, you're still my guy. Like,
that's what's up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Already it's something that happened, a motive behind everything that happens, right? A cause and effect.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.